Thank you very much, Laskin Corla. And obviously I know today is Friday the 13th, so hopefully that won't go against me with the Minister and that he might actually accept the bill. The issue of a potential Brexit is on the minds of nearly every member of this House. And we know obviously earlier this week that the Taoiseach was in London, that he met Prime Minister David Cameron and was discussing obviously the potential of a Brexit directly with the Minister. The bill today before the House is a timely bill, in my opinion, regardless obviously as to what's going to happen with that referendum in the United Kingdom, as the bill before the House will enhance and will secure our relationship with our closest neighbours in terms of open travel. As I stated in this House when I introduced the bill last year, it provides for passport-free travel for qualifying persons travelling within the Common Travel Area. The Common Travel Area can be a grey area of the law and can cause confusion to people travelling within it as to what forms and types of identification are required. As we all know, the Common Travel Area is supposed to be a border-free zone, in theory anyway, between the islands of Great Britain and Ireland. It is an abnormal area of the law with practical implications and political sensitivity. Before I delve into this bill and what it proposes to do, let me say something first about the land border that Ireland shares with the United Kingdom in light of a potential Brexit. Many people have spoken about the implications of this land border that cuts through many farmyards in the border counties. Some have said that if the United Kingdom leaves the European Union, then passport controls will have to be reinstated. Personally, though, I do not believe that this will be the case if the United Kingdom were, unfortunately, to decide to leave the European Union. Passport and border controls along the Northern Irish border are not inevitable in the case of a Brexit. We know, Laskin Corla, from Protocol 20, which is on application of certain aspects of Article 26 of the Treaty on the Functioning of the European Union to the United Kingdom and Ireland, which is annexed to the European Union treaties, means that EU law recognises the Common Travel Area. It acknowledges the special travel arrangements between them, in that borders in the traditional sense have never existed. In the case of a Brexit, the Northern Irish border would indeed become an external EU border. However, this is irrelevant for passport and border control. It is irrelevant because both the United Kingdom and Ireland are not a party to the Schengen area and instead operate the common travel area between them. If anything, the recent introduction of reciprocal visa arrangements for third state nationals through the British-Irish visa scheme has strengthened the ties the two states have on their own border policies. British and Irish border policies between the two states as part of the common travel area will continue to be separate from either state's membership of the European Union. However, what is relevant is the issue of custom matters, but that is beyond the scope of the common travel area that we're dealing with today. Regarding this bill, whilst there is no absolute requirement to present a passport for travel within the common travel area for Irish or for British citizens, the reality is very different. The legislation here that I am proposing is to ensure that a transport operator, such as an airline, leaving from an Irish point of departure cannot demand the carrying of a passport from an Irish citizen who travels within the common travel area. I am going to outline two established practices now that prove that the common travel area has, over time, been weakened instead of being strengthened. The first scenario is one that all deputies will be very aware of. On arrival in Dublin Airport, all persons, regardless of where they arrive on a flight from, must produce identification to enter the state. By not having a different stream in Dublin Airport for arrivals from other airports in Ireland and the United Kingdom, Irish airports are out of kilter with UK practice. For example, when you arrive at any of the London airports from Dublin, you do not enter through immigration managed by the UK Border Agency. Instead, you enter via a separate channel for domestic UK flights and from Ireland. Dublin Airport provides no such reciprocal arrangements for domestic Irish flights and from the United Kingdom that gives the equivalent effect of the British measures. This clearly demonstrates that the Irish practice adopted by the Irish National Immigration Service, or the INIS, that's not being done within the spirit of the Common Travel Area. The second scenario is that there is an established practice by one prominent airline in particular who do not let Irish citizens board their aircraft in Ireland without producing a valid passport. This applies for their flights to mainland Europe and entering the Schengen area, and that is fine. However, they even require you to do it on flights to the United Kingdom from Ireland to produce a passport. And even when there were flights, when they operated flights within Ireland, you had to still produce a valid passport, which is very wrong. Current legislation does not prohibit any carrier involved in transporting people within the Common Travel Area from seeking appropriate confirmation of the identity. I appreciate that these are the terms and the conditions that travellers sign up to when they purchase tickets. However, the requirement for Irish citizens to produce a passport is an unnecessary hindrance on what the Common Travel Area is supposed to be about. Other airlines flying between Ireland and the United Kingdom do not mandate all passengers to carry passports, but rather any other relevant identification to match, so that they can match the name that's on the ticket. These airlines operate within the spirit of the Common Travel Area. So what I'm asking you, Minister, if some airlines can do this, why can't all airlines be mandated to do it for a much better, for a much more streamlined Common Travel Area? The immigration policy and practice at Irish airports and the operational methods used by a particular airline flying within Ireland and the United Kingdom collectively undermine the Common Travel Area. The crux of the matter here is that currently no real Common Travel Area exists as it should. And this bill aims to bring about a more inclusive, a more coherent and a more sensible Common Travel Area. The bill would make travel between Ireland and the United Kingdom within the travel area much easier for everyone. It would prohibit a travel carrier from obliging persons entitled to avail of the Common Travel Area from mandating them to use passports. It would bring all airlines into line with established practices, as is being done by the vast majority of airlines operating within the Common Travel Area. It would allow other means of identification other than a passport to be produced, such as a valid driver's licence, a student card, a Garda age card, or a work identification card with a photograph. It would put an end as well to the prohibitive and the confusing practices that currently exist. There is no legislation currently and specifically aimed at governing the travel documents required for travel within the Common Travel Area. The Common Travel Area for a long time operated under administrative arrangements between Ireland and the United Kingdom. It is the judiciary who legitimised it as a point of public policy in Kveither versus the Minister for Justice in 1996. A significant judgment for the Common Travel Area came from the High Court in 2011 in the Picaro versus the Minister for Justice case. The presiding judge, Mr. Justice Gerard Hogan, called the Common Travel Area a misnomer. He stated, and I quote, "The Common Travel Area has long ceased to be a genuine passport-free travel area." He further said, "Confusion abounds regarding the limits of the Common Travel Area." Indeed, the court went as far as to say that further legal aspects of the common travel area will arise again beyond the immediate set of individual circumstances in that case. Whilst substantial legal overhaul of the common travel area may be needed, this bill attempts to address some aspects of it. Obviously, with the introduction of the new passport cards earlier this year, travel between Ireland and the United Kingdom will theoretically be easier for those who possess those cards. Can I say that, though, the knowledge of the introduction of this card was not in the public domain when I introduced this bill last year. However, it does not take away from the fact that problems still exist for real passport-free travel within the common travel area. We know that passports cost a significant amount of money for an individual, at €95 if you get one over the counter, and a further €35 if you get a passport card, which is a total of €130 at a minimum, which is a significant amount of money, particularly for pensioners. So it really is becoming cost prohibitive for people. And I know previously it was free for pensioners to get passports, but that's as part of the other cutbacks that was taken away a number of years ago. So perhaps, Minister, that's something that could be looked at again in the future. For British citizens, no such passport card exists, and they do not have national ID cards like other EU member states. Therefore, British citizens could still be mandated to carry their passports when visiting Ireland within the common travel area on certain airlines. Instead, we should be allowing passengers travelling within the common travel area to use the recommended acceptable forms of photo identification, as I already stated there, Minister, rather than having people to carry, encouraging them to carry a passport. This bill would allow carriers to continue to operate identification checks for passengers for travel in the common travel area. However, they would no longer be allowed to insist that qualifying persons transiting within the common travel area are compelled to carry or present a passport. I trust Minister English, along with his officials, will take what I have stated here tonight or today into consideration. Perhaps we can look at other ways of ensuring the integrity of the common travel area by incorporating some of the ideas mentioned here today, and I'm sure other speakers will mention other ideas regarding the common travel area, and that be included in further amendments in future legislation. We must all do what we can do to preserve, to protect and enhance the common travel area. The common travel area is supposed to be passportless. We should do everything to make it this way. It really is in Ireland's interest, as it is likewise in the United Kingdom's interest, that the common travel area be as meaningful and as bureaucratic-free as it can be. Thank you. Kerry Lock. Yep.